Hello and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth, and we got a lot of baseball talk. Let's jump right in, starting, of course, with the news. The Yankees have acquired infielder Ryan McMahon from the Rockies for prospect pitchers Griffin Herring and Josh Gross. Herring has been having a pretty good year down on the farm. This is probably a defensive oriented move. I mean, the Yankees have been using Oswald Peraza and Yorbit Vivas at third base, so they definitely could use an upgrade. They were said to be interested in Eugenio Suarez. Maybe they still are. I haven't seen anything to the contrary, but I know that that's going to cost a pretty penny. They made a move right now, and they have McMahon. We'll see how it works out. His splits have heavily favored home games, and Coors has been helping him out quite a bit, but we'll see what he can do. Yankee Stadium is definitely a place where he can hit some home runs too. So we'll see what happens. The Mets have acquired Gregory Soto from the Orioles for prospects Wellington Aracena and Cameron Foster. The former prospect Aracena has been picking up a lot of steam recently. He's in A-ball, but has been pitching very, very well, as have just so many Mets prospect pitchers. I mean, for some reason, if you are a Mets prospect pitcher, you have a good day. But the Mets do acquire some bullpen help. They get a lefty reliever, which is something they certainly needed. With the Ryan McMahon trade, the Rockies may need some help at third base, also maybe first base. So they are looking to their farm, and the news is that they are likely, it's not 100%, but they are likely to select Warming Bernabel. Bernabel has not been in the big leagues yet, but he was on the Rockies 40-man roster back in 2023. He was outrighted at the end of spring training in 2024 and then is having a really good year. So they would have to bring him back onto the 40-man roster, but Warming Bernabel was hitting 301 through 75 games in AAA, keeping in mind that is in the hitter-friendly PCL. We've seen many a player hit really well there and then struggle at the big leagues. Bernabel likely to be one of those. Not a whole lot of thump. If I remember the stat off the top of my head, I mean, he's hitting like 84 miles an hour on average. I mean, he just doesn't have a whole lot of thump behind it, but is making contact, hitting the ball well. So if he is, in fact, the choice that they make to replace that infield spot they need, then maybe he'll be able to make enough contact to help you out. We'll have to see what happens there, but it seems like Warming Bernabel may be getting his major league debut. A's reliever Jose Leclerc to get season-ending shoulder surgery. He's been on the shelf since April 23rd with a lat strain and will be a free agent at the end of the year. Assuming he recovers, he may be able to find another opportunity next year. The Rays have made a flurry of moves. Jacob Waguespack has been DFA'd. This comes after they reinstate Johnny DeLuca from the 60-day IL. He joins that crowded outfield picture, so we'll see how that thing shakes out. And Ha-Seong Kim, not too long after making his Rays debut, is back on the IL. He heads to the 10-day IL with a back issue. It's been retroactive to July 22nd. So he had some discomfort there. I think maybe they thought it would go away. It has not. So he is officially on the injured list and will be out for at least a little bit. Also on the IL, Landon Roop, Giants pitcher with elbow inflammation. No word on how serious that is yet, but anything with the elbow can be scary. Short term, the Giants have recalled Tristan Beck. He'll likely serve out of a bullpen. This leaves some questions. The Giants do not have a lot of arms left. They recently sent Hayden Birdsong, a struggling Hayden Birdsong down to AAA. So we'll have to see what happens. They could potentially bring him back. They may give Carson Whisenhunt a chance, one of their prospects who's not on the 40-man roster. They'd have to make a room for him, or Carson Ragsdale and Mason Black could be options as well. They do have internal pitching options, but they're definitely going to want to look for pitchers at the trade deadline, especially with this injury to Landon Roop. Again, don't know how long he's going to be out. It's the 15-day IL right now. Elbow inflammation, definitely scary. So just watch the news, I guess, and see what happens. But could be interesting to see what they choose to do. Maybe a good start or two from Birdsong, and he's right back in that rotation. Marcelo Mayer heads to the IL as well for the Red Sox with a wrist sprain. They've recalled the speedy David Hamilton, but it seems that Cedane Rafaelo will be getting most of the starts at second base in the meantime. So, hey, second base eligibility on the way. For the Royals, Hunter Harvey's back from the 60-day IL. They send Jonathan Bolin down to AAA, and Cavan Biggio, has been DFA'd. Time to take a look at some hitting highlights. Francisco Lindor collected 3 hits in the game yesterday, including his 20th homer of the year, and he stole his 17th base. He's now hitting .252, but it's been a rough 30 games or so for him. He's hitting .208 with 6 home runs, so good to see him collect 3 hits here. It has not been a hard time lately for Rafael Devers, who has seemingly found his swing. Hot hitting stretch for the Giants. He collected a double in yesterday's games. This makes him .367 over his last 7 games with a pair of bombs. Speaking of a pair of bombs, Julio Rodriguez hit 2 of them in the game yesterday. This makes 3 home runs in the last 2 games. He hit both of them off Jose Soriano. This was his Rodriguez's 17th on the year, and he's hitting .256. Royce Lewis, I talk about him a lot. Favorite of mine, hoping he can get back to form. Seems like maybe we're headed that direction. Cautiously optimistic. He hit a double, one for 4 with a double in yesterday's games. He's hitting .296 with 3 home runs and 6 strikeouts over his last 15 games. Maybe. Moving on to the A's offense, Tyler Soderstrom and Shea Langeliers each hit a home run, which is the only notable thing to happen for the A's offense in that game. Nah, I'm just kidding. Nick Kurtz, once again, he hit 4 home runs. He's the 20th player in MLB history to hit 4 home runs, and if only that was it, he hit a 6-for-6 day, totaling 8 RBIs. As it turns out, Kurtz is pretty good at this whole hitting a baseball thing. Who knew? A lot of people knew. Michael Harris II hit his 8th home run during his 2-hit day yesterday. He's on a mini hot streak, hitting .308 with a pair of bombs over his last 7 games. The youngsters for the White Sox had a good day. They really got to Shota Imanaga. We'll get to that a little later. But Chase Meadroth and Colson Montgomery each hit their 3rd home run on the season. That was one of 3 hits for Meadroth. Edgar Caro, the young catcher, had a 4-hit day, including his 12th double. Now, not providing much fantasy pop, a couple home runs maybe, but he's hitting .277 on the year, which is a great development for the young catcher. For the 2nd day in a row, Spencer Torkelson for the Tigers went 1 for 4 with a home run. He's got 23 on the year now. This is the type of season you were looking for from him. Chandler Simpson, still good, still fast. He went 1 for 3 and stole his 32nd base of the year. That one hit was a double. He's hitting .308 in his time on the year, and hopefully the Rays don't just send him back down randomly. I mean, hey, they just got an outfielder back. Hopefully that doesn't draw the end for Simpson. It can't. He's been playing way too well, but they are the Rays, to be fair. Kyle Schwarber went yard twice during his 3-hit and 4 RBI day yesterday. He's got 36 home runs on the year, hitting .255. Mickey Moniak for the Rockies hit his 16th home run of the year. He's got his 2nd over the course of 3 games. And you know what? He's kind of been just on a roll, hitting .364 with 10 home runs over his last 30 games. And Moniak has worked his way into regular playing time. And it seems like the odd man out now is Brenton Doyle, who struggled early in this year. Still, underlying numbers on Doyle look good, but it seems like they're willing to let him sit a few games. He's gotten 2 games off now in favor of Mickey Moniak, who's been hitting really well lately. Kobe Mayo hit his 2nd home run of the year, checking in on how the prospect is doing. At the big league level, Mayo's hitting .205 with 22 strikeouts and 9 walks in 88 at-bats. Otto Lopez collected 3 hits for the Marlins, all of them doubles, a trio of doubles, if you will, a triple-double. More of a basketball thing. I don't know. Try and make it work. Augustin Ramirez hit a double and stole his 2nd base. Ramirez having a great rookie year, hitting 244. And finally, for that Marlins offense, big day for them. Kyle Stowers hit his 23rd home run of the year and picked up a pair of walks. And wrapping up our hitting, Jackson Chourio. He hit his 17th home run of the year. And I'll tell you what, over his last 30 games, he's hitting 303. Slow start scared some people. I remember getting a question, hey, is it time to sell? No. Jackson Chourio, good at baseball, doing good baseball things. He got 5 home runs, 5 steals over those last 30 games as well. Time to take a look at some starting pitching. Clay Holmes went 5 innings, struck out a pair, gave up a run. This is a good outing to get him back on track. He's posted a 4.58 ERA over his last 7 games. Not struck out many batters, 20 in that span and 19 walks. Logan Webb had a rough outing. He got tagged for 6 runs over 4 innings while striking out 4. Brian Wu went 6 innings, gave up a pair of runs for the Mariners, and struck out 6. He's got a 2.91 ERA with 121 strikeouts and 126 innings, as he's just been fantastic this season. I keep saying this is what we thought Bryce Miller was going to be. Hopefully Miller can get back healthy and look more like that. Mackenzie Gore bounced back pretty well in some respects. Worked around 6 walks. Went 5 innings, gave up only 1 run, and struck out 4. This makes 9 walks over his last 7 1/3 innings. That's covering 2 outings. So didn't give up many runs, but did have a lot of walks and kind of a rough couple starts for him post All-Star break. It was not a rough day for Zebby Matthews. However, the Twins' young starter was dominant, struck out 7 and scattered 2 hits across 6 shutout innings of work. It's good to see. This lowers his season ERA to 4.97. Nathan Eovaldi continuing his wonderful year, lowering his ERA to 1.50 after throwing 5 shutout innings, striking out 7, and he did walk 4. As mentioned, Shota Imanaga did not have the best day. He gave up 7 runs on 12 hits, including 3 home runs. 2 of them, of course, Chase Meadroth, Colson Montgomery. The other one came to Austin Slater. He worked 3 innings against the White Sox. Miles Michaelis, 5 shutout innings, struck out 1, scattering 7 hits. The Cardinals recently DFA'd Eric Fetty. You got to think that Miles Michaelis might be next on the chopping block if they get a pitcher or if they have a prospect who they want to start. I mean, he's had a rough year, but this was a good outing. Jose Barrios mentioned, I thought he'd have a good day against the Tigers, 6 innings, gave up a pair of runs, struck out 6. Not bad for Jose Barrios. Emmett Sheehan, his 5th outing since coming back from the IL, was pretty solid, struck out 5 over 5 innings and allowed a pair of runs. He now has a 4.22 ERA in 21 1/3 innings with 21 strikeouts in those 5 appearances since coming back from his surgery that kept him out end of last year for most of this year. 4 of those have been starts. For the D-backs, Ryan Nelson threw 6 shutout innings with a pair of walks and a hit while striking out 4. Over Nelson's last 15 games, he's thrown 73 1/3 innings with a 2.70 ERA and 53 strikeouts. Mike Burrows had a good day as well on the other side of that matchup against Ryan Nelson. Burrows went 6 innings, scattered 3 hits and a walk while striking out 5. Didn't give up a run, and he recovered nicely from his 6 earned run outing earlier this month to have good outings against the White Sox and the Diamondbacks. And I'll tell you what, I am a Burrows fan. The last time I said that was right before that 6-run outing, so I try to avoid it now, but he's just a solid option most days, it seems like. Wrapping up our pitching, Freddie Peralta for the Brewers, 5 innings, allowed only a solo home run, and he struck out 9 batters. Season ERA 2.81, and that shows us that Freddie Peralta is still really good at this whole pitching thing. With that, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, I got a few pitchers to talk about in the upcoming games today, and then we'll wrap things up. This is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. We've talked news, we've talked hitters, we've talked pitchers from yesterday. What about some pitchers from the game upcoming today? We are going to start with a man who has a phenomenal first name, if you ask me. Trevor Rogers for the Orioles. He's going to be going up against the Rockies away from Coors Field, so that's a good matchup for him. And he's been excellent since coming back from his injury, throwing 41 and a third innings over 7 games with 35 strikeouts. So you got a guy who's been on a roll. His name is Trevor. That's not as important. And also, he's pitching against the Rockies away from home. He's got a good matchup. Got to love that one for today. Cade Horton draws the White Sox, who did just light up Shota Imanaga. But Horton's coming off 5.2 shutout innings against the Red Sox. And so he's got some momentum heading into what theoretically is a good matchup. Obviously, the White Sox can put up runs, as they just proved, but can they do it 2 games in a row? I guess we'll find out. I like Cade Horton against the White Sox. Jansen Junk has been good this year, albeit without many strikeouts, making his fantasy ceiling not that high. He had a rough outing last time out, by his standards, I guess. 4 earned runs in 5 innings against the Royals. He's going to look to bounce back against his former organization, the Brewers. We'll see if they're able to get to him. But Junk has been great this year. He started in the minors and came up as a reliever, and slowly they've just turned him into a starter, and he's been in their rotation since, and it has gone well for the most part. Seems like he's taken a real step forward. You just hope maybe those strikeouts take a tick up. That's what you're looking for. And finally, the matchup of the day, Rays versus Reds. Ryan Pepio versus Andrew Abbott. Pepio has, well, he could use a bounce back outing, but he's gone 6 innings in each of his last 4 starts. And the caveat here, he's given up 9 runs combined over his last 2. So he's getting length. Strikeouts have been okay. He just needs to have a little bit of a bounce back. We'll see what he can do. He's pitching in Great American Ballpark. Keep that in mind. Andrew Abbott has just been so good, throwing for a 2.19 ERA over his last 15 games with 72 strikeouts. That's spanning 86 and a third innings. So Abbott's been good. You got to like Abbott. Got to like Pepio. That should be a fun matchup. I'm looking forward to watching it at least. We'll see what happens. And with that, make sure to check out pitcherlist.com. Nick is always updating that top 100 pitchers. Scott Chu is updating that top 100 hitters. And of course, Rick Graham has all those wonderful reliever lists that are so helpful. And there is written content coming out all the time. It's just fantastic. Make sure to check it out and join PL Pro so you can talk to us on the Discord. If you are not already a member, there's no better time. It's trade deadline season. It's rumor season. It's silly season. And that makes it fun in that Discord. Make sure to join if you're not a member of PL Pro. And with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. This has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.